Hey, today I wanted to show you guys the new rack that we had put on in Bellingham, Washington. This is made by Tannerack. They did the ladder as well here, and wanted to go over some of the features and how it's built, what it looks like. Really happy with it. We'll go ahead and jump right in here. So it's made of aluminum. It's 1.5 inch tubing on the top there, and if you notice it's made to wrap around the front, like to match the curve of the van roof. You could probably add a light bar on there later, just with some different generic mounts. I didn't opt for any of the light bar specific mounting things that they do offer. And the ladder here mounts down here, and it is made, they said, to break away from here if you did get hung up on something, so you don't tear the body of the van apart. It fits pretty nice and snug here. It's about, I don't know what that is, my hand is about as, if I stretch it out at the widest, that's about how far it is from the van there, back here. It's tucked in pretty good though. I don't think I'd want it any closer. When I'm climbing up it, my toes tend to hit the van, and I don't really want to mess up the graphics that we had put on there. So works pretty well. I didn't notice any additional noise from it either. So one of the neat things about this rack, what really drew my attention to it, is that the awning, if you have an awning, it's set back inside the rack. Let me come over here, it'll be a little bit better angle. There we go. And that is a Fiamma F80S, just a manual awning. It's a 10'6", also known as a 320 for the length. And I put the awning on myself. They had to adjust it a little bit front to back to fit the rack there, but you can see how that fits in nicely. What's nice about that is not only looks nicer, but you have less stuff hanging out the side of your van to get caught on tree branches and whatnot. So makes for a nice flush look. We went with the perforated floor, so you can attach pretty much anything to it. There are some mounts by Front Runner for cargo boxes that we want to put on there eventually. So the traction boards, those are ARB Tread Pros. We were 2,000 miles from home whenever I put those on the rack. I did have the brackets. I'll climb up here in a minute and show you. The brackets are made for this size tubing and are made for a variety of traction plates. The hardware to mount the traction boards to the mount is I just used basic hardware there, wing nut and a bolt coming through just to hold it on there. And then I had a spare bicycle lock that I ran through. It happened to fit through one of the holes of the tread plates, and so I just locked it onto the rack that way. That is not an elegant solution by any means, so that'll get some more attention later, but it was just to get us home, basically, to get those things out of the van. So I'll climb up here and show you what it looks like on top here. But the ladder hooks right onto the rails. It is rock solid. Doesn't even begin to budge. So really happy with that, the design and construction of it. All the welds are really nicely done. It's got nice little, whatever we call these, traction bumps that are designed into the steps. So really nice. So we'll climb up and show what it's like to see the top of it there. So here's what I mean about my toes fitting just inside there, right? I don't think I'd want to have it any closer. Otherwise, I'd have to really tiptoe up the ladder. And when I'm hauling gear up here, we had some Pelican boxes put on top. You really need a good footing. You don't really want to be on just your toes. So here's what it looks like on top. Nice perforated screen. I've walked on this. It's built really well. And the ladder is the same way. Mounts right into the OEM rails there. And then here are the mounts for the traction plates. These are by Gzilla. I'll put a link in the description. And again, I just used some basic hardware to keep it on here. I mean, they are not going anywhere, and I angled them out a little bit so they don't touch the van, and they stayed that way the entire trip. I didn't have to re-snug anything, retighten anything. So they really like those mounts. They make them for a variety of tubing diameters. So over here, the awning, you'll see it fitting inside there. They made the upper rail brackets curve over the awning, right? So zoom in on that here. they send you a template that it's kind of a layout of the roof, and you measure from your points of your different things like your max air vent and your air conditioner. So you measure to the edge of the roof rails in the front and back and all that, and then they design it to fit right around that. Also, I'll say, let me get on up here all the way. So right here is the round plug that is what you would use to run solar panel wires into the van. So that's nice that that's really easily accessible even with the rack on here. So that's not going to be any problem at all. We're going to put some solar panels along here, some narrow ones, probably more up here, but still have room for storing gear because we really needed this primarily for storing cargo. Anyway, really happy with it. I'm not sure what else would be helpful to know, but if there's anything you want to know that I haven't covered, please put it in the description. This is also a Houghton 9500 BTU unit. It's a 110 AC powered off of a Yeti 6000X battery by Goal Zero. There's another video about that if you want to see how that's all wired up. I need to make a follow-up video now that we've used it for about 5,000 miles. All right, that's it. Let me know again if there's anything you want to know that I haven't covered. Thanks.